God pampers children, but he chastises sons. This is why there are many things you can't teach, because it will be subjective. The higher you go with God, the stricter God becomes to you. You think God is love because you are in the outer court. In the outer court, you kill somebody, you fall upon the horn of the altar, you are forgiven. You say, oh God, God my love, God my shepherd. When you go to the inner court, God will assume a different disposition, because in the inner court you are ruled by government. That's where you meet the menorah, not the sunlight. It is only what God permits that you can do there, and that's not enough. When you go to the Holy of Holies, you no longer see menorah, you see the Shekinah. If you do anything wrong there, you die. So there is a level of chastisement you get to, that if you eat when you should fast, God can kill you. Because the fire, the mercy seat where forgiveness is achieved, fire can come out and kill. That's why I said, I'm the God that killeth and maketh alive. The same God who forgives can judge. And depending on where you are, the investment of authority, there are things you do, God will kill you and say, come home. Your assignment is over. That's the realm of sons. It will be difficult to teach it, because that realm has no end. Sonship is forever and ever. So most of this doctrine we hear at the shallow level is for children. Ask those who are kingdom minded. You violate God sometimes for 6 months, the anger of God is with you. And if you will know that if you preach at that time, you are in error. You will stop everything you are doing to go seek the face of God. You may not explain it to a child, but that's where you are with God, because of the authority that you command. Go and check most of these people teaching this garbage of hyper grace. Which authority do they have? Go and check. Just gather a few people misleading them. How many hyper grace preachers have you seen enter a nation and trigger a national revival? Go and read the history. That you enter a nation. Do you know the princes that operate there? A fornicator will come and address a prince that has bound a nation to immorality. A drunk will come and address a prince. They don't have such powers. That's why for time immemorial, everywhere there's revival, one of the major doctrines is holiness. Is the fear of the Lord. Because this is not a doctrine for children, it's for sons. You want to go deep, because dear God chastises. And if you study Hebrews chapter 12 from verse 6 to verse 9, the Bible began to show us the credentials of sons. And one of those credentials is the chastening of the Lord. Find out most of these people who say they are preaching grace. They will tell you God does not rebuke them. They are not afraid of God. They can do anything they want. They are children. When you become a son, you will be chastised. It said, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Everyone who is a son, God scourges him. Go to verse 7. This is a believers' conference. It said, if you endure, because this thing you don't graduate from it. Every level have different rules. If you endure chastening, it said God dealeth with you as with sons. It said, what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? That's a question for those who think God does not chastise. It said in verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, it said, whereof are ye partakers? It said, how then are you partakers of what you claim? And then it said, then are ye bastards and not sons. Anybody that God does not scourge, that God does not chastise, that God does not rebuke, he said he's not a partaker of the commonwealth of Israel. That thing he's saying, he's deluded. And he said, in order to make it clear, he said that person is a bastard. So sonship is chastisement.